I grew up playing soccer. Since I was 5 years old, I planted my foot to the left. As the guy cut back to the right, I tried to cut back as hard as I could, and I felt my knee go. And the whole knee just blew out to the left, and I could feel it just turn sideways the wrong way. I could feel it, I could hear it, and suddenly I was just crumpled on the ground.
I was at an indoor trampoline facility for a birthday party with a bunch of friends, and we were just goofing around, and all of a sudden I heard a pop, 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 and fell to the trampoline, was rushed to the ER, and found out that I had obliterated the top of my tibial plateau.
When I was skateboarding and when I fell, I hit the tranny and kind of popped my knee sideways. Almost felt like it got dislocated, but I was able to kind of push it back into socket, and then the next day, just icing it all night, I was like, oh man, there's something definitely wrong with my knee.
I was recommended by the ER here at CPMC to come see Dr. Purchase. And when I came in, he immediately recognized that it was an ACL tear at least, and if not, other ligament tears as well.
I was thinking, oh, I'm going to get a cast and I'll get to go home, tomorrow. And they called Dr. Purchase in. This was in the evening on a weekend. Told me that I'd be going into surgery the next morning, and did his best to explain to me what a really serious injury it was.
He said pretty much I probably tore my ACL. So that was kind of shocking, and then from there we did the whole MRI situation, and he came back and he's like, yeah, you got a tear in there.
So they call the ACL, MCL, and meniscus tear the deadly triangle, and so they have to actually replace your entire ACL. They took out my ACL and replaced it with a cadaver part. You can also do hamstrings. We talked about that, Dr. Purchase and I, and he, knowing where I was as a relatively young person, they decided that the cadaver was actually a better option for me because I wasn't going to be somebody who was going to have a career in sports.
Dr. Purchase had a really great bedside manner about him. I tend to deal with trauma with humor, and thank God he's the same way. So we joked around a lot in the hospital. You wouldn't think going through such a severe injury and surgery that you would be laughing while you're in the hospital with the big giant bolts coming out of your leg.
He just is very reassuring and calm, and it just kind of does that kind of dog whisperer thing on you where you just feel like everything's going to be okay when he's talking to you and stuff. So he's very soothing in that sense, and then he's very to the point. He's like, you got something wrong and you want to fix it, and let's get down and do it, And
it was a pleasure to work with Dr. Purchase. I came in and immediately he was highly informative. It was clear that he loves medicine. It was clear that he loves orthopedics, and that he got excited about the potential to put me back at full health.
I was really surprised to see that Dr. Purchase came in at 3 a.m. in the morning when the nurses called him and told him I was having difficulty with my pain. He came in personally himself and adjusted the medication, and I was fine.
Within a few weeks, I was, on crutches for a couple weeks, and then I think at the 3rd week I was putting weight on it and stuff. So after 6 weeks, I was off crutches and doing physical therapy. So it went really well, really well.
Through all the post-recovery, all the times I check in with him, he was making sure he'd call me frequently. He would text, he would email, making sure that my recovery was going well and that my physical therapy was on track. And so it was a real pleasure to be able to have him as a doctor.